Welcome to the podcast. This is Roy Wanguhu, and today we're going to be having a guest. His name is Ben Dennis, and he's a cinematographer in the Bay Area, and he's more than that. I'm sure he does artwork. We've known each other for so long, and it's a pleasure to have you, Ben, today.
Hey, it's a pleasure to be here. Thanks.
So yeah, let's start. What's your journey? How did you get into this? How did you start? And what drove you to get started into being a filmmaker?
Well, I like to say this every time I meet somebody who's a filmmaker. I always ask them like, what these two things? It's what movie what made you want to make movies, and then what movie made you think you could make movies. For me, the movie that made me want to make movies, it was it's a movie called West Side Story
Okay. Okay.
by Sondheim and all of them. It's just like a big movie. It's about the Lower East Side in Manhattan, the West Side in Manhattan. West Side Story, I think, is a movie that is beautifully shot, amazingly choreographed, and the sounds and really make you. It immerses you into the story if you're down with that kind of thing. If you don't like musicals, I guess you'd probably be bored. But but I think it's one of the best movies ever made. It really is in my top 5 best movies. And the movie that I watched that I think made me think I could make movies, not because it's like easy to make this. I think it'd be easy to make, but it's just
Yeah.
like something that like I feel like I could find a way to do that. It was Ghost Dog by
Okay.
Jim Jarmusch.
Hmm.
That movie is another movie that like immerses you in. It really spoke to me. I grew up in New York, and I feel a lot of the grittiness of the streets. I met
Hmm.
a lot of people that were kind of like the people in those films, and it made me feel like, yeah, this is the path you want to go on.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, filmmaking is very broad,
Hmm.
right? Like there's too many too many pieces or too many individuals that it takes to actually make one film, right?
Yeah.
So there's the inspiration going back to your origin story or West Side Story as what inspired you to be a filmmaker. What aspect of that drew you in to be like, I like this and this is what I want to do? What from either the story, the direction, or what drew you into West Side Story to kind of have that click or have that shift?
Well, I think the way the camera moved, like the language of that camera.
Mm.
I know I'm really fascinated by lighting and colors
Yeah.
and why cinematographers and wardrobe designers choose different colors for the characters in the scene, right? And that like thing is surface level, and it really like makes you makes you really alert to the subject matter. But
Uh-huh.
like when you watch that film again, my mother was really into musicals, so I used to watch musicals with my mom. I'd
Okay.
watch West Side Story, of course. I'd watch The Happiest Millionaire. I'd
Okay.
watch um, The King and I, like these movies. But like the way this camera moved is really what drew me in. Just it had its own personality. It
Okay.
would go from a scene where these people would be moving like very static, very aggressively, but the camera would push you into another shot, like a really aggressive shot into a more serene shot. And I was
Yes.
wondering, well, like,
Yes.
why is it doing that? Why is it doing that? And what can I do that?
Yeah.
Nah, I couldn't do it. But then when I watched Ghost Dog, I'm like, yeah, I could do it. I think,
All right.
you know, I could probably do that. Anyway,
So to that, okay, you've seen it. You're like, I want to be a filmmaker. What was your next steps?
um, I don't think it was that like I want to be a filmmaker yet. It was I want to be in the military. Both of my parents were in the military. My
Okay.
dad was a drill sergeant. My mom was like Army intelligence, and my mother was on a film set in Virginia when we were stationed in Virginia for a little bit.
Okay.
I think we were stationed there for like in 1992. I think it was. It was a film um, that was Samuel L. Jackson
Mm-hmm.
on it, and she
Mm-hmm.
got to be a extra.
All right.
And she told
Okay.
me about it, and I was like, man, like people make movies, man. They make movies. You can get a job in making movies. But I kind of like forgot about it a little bit. And then I was really into comic books. I started drawing my own stories,
Yes.
writing my own stories, and I kept up with the storytelling element and the visual element of it.
Mm.
So but then when I joined the military, I fell into um, the video and photo side of the military. There's a whole aspect of the military that people don't really realize. It's called the well, for the Navy. Well, I was in the Navy.
Yeah.
It's called the combat camera,
Okay.
and really what you do is they send you to school to learn how to document war and war zones, but
Okay.
also it teaches you to do video production, like broadcast production. You can do live events. You can do like little documentaries.
Okay.
And my first ship one of my first ships, actually my second ship, was the USS Nimitz.
Mm.
This is a little boring. Sorry about that, but the USS Nimitz is a carrier, aircraft carrier. And when I joined, PBS was doing a documentary called Carrier
Okay.
on that USS Nimitz,
Okay.
and because I was in what's called a photographer's mate.
Yeah.
I was able to be like a PA while they were filming on the carrier. So we
Okay.
got to we like to follow the cinematographers,
Yeah.
follow the director,
Yeah.
and like talk, like be there where they're filming scenes. And I'm like, man, I could really, really do this. And from there, I figured, hey, what can I do to make it so I'm a camera person for
Okay.
films or documentaries?
Okay.
And then I pushed myself toward that, and cool.
And we're here now.
Yep.
So what kind of films inspire you? So I think, just to catch up, you ended up coming back, going to film school?
Yeah, I
Or
went to
just
film
in
school in San Francisco. I went back to New York at first, and with the military, they have something called the 9/11 GI Bill, and with that bill, it'll give you money to go to college if you want, and a lot of the colleges, the film schools, were pretty expensive, so there's no way I would have made it in if I hadn't have joined. But there was a school in San Francisco that I wanted to go to, so I came here, and I met a lot of like filmmakers around the Bay Area and kind of pushed myself into this aspects.
Perfect. What kind of films do you love making? Or what inspires you?
Inspires me right now, like there's a lot of really, really good films that inspire me, and they're normally movies about like booty shaking and no, just I'm inspired by the Tubi side of the business.
Hey, I was saving that for a little bit later, but we can go into that. But
Sorry, I'm just kidding, man.
no, but it's interesting, right? We all have the passion of why we are doing what we do,
Right.
right? But also we don't get to do it every day.
Yeah.
So I'm sure any filmmaker will understand that part. But to your end, what is that? Because what's that spark that keeps you going, or how do you balance those two, keeping the spark alive? Because we still have.
and making money.
You called it.
Yeah. Well, I think you have to approach it you approach it from the aspect of I have to make this creative side of me. I have to feed this creative side of me, or it's gonna starve to death. And there's a lot of people I met in the industry who just do their work and they go home and they don't think about doing any films or making any shorts or doing any commercials or doing, you know what I mean? Like anything that feeds their creative side. And I feel like that is something that I won't allow myself to do. So I'll do a lot of corporate. I'll do corporate work. I'll work with the union, do union gigs, and those are not necessarily things that are like super creative, man. You just sit on a camera and go like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm always looking for something on the side that I can do to occupy my time. And it helps that I don't have any like teenagers, any kids or anything like that. But that would probably make it harder.
I
But
like
I'd
that you
still
jump to teenagers. Instead
Oh
of
yeah, I
kids,
imagine.
you straight up went to, I don't have any teenagers. It's
But I
like,
imagine like
is that where they would be? Is there one that you're talking about that you're like, right now they'd be a teenager?
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, my sister is like busy. You know what I mean? And he's busy with her kids. And I was like, it'd probably be a little harder if I had kids or something by now. But I think you still have to like feed that creative side of you, or it's just gonna find itself starved to death. You know?
I think it's still possible
Mhm.
because I have 2 boys.
Yeah.
Still, they're not teenagers yet,
Mhm.
but I kind of feel, definitely the conversation, right?
Yeah.
It's balancing worlds.
Mm.
But to your conversation on that is, okay, you're doing all this to, as we say, pay the bills or keep things going.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the outlet? Let's talk about that.
Yeah. Where's the outlet? Like right now, I'm a little bit, I haven't shot a film in a year, and that is starting to gnaw at me a little bit. But I think it's probably because like normally by now I've already had like 3 films. Like I've talked to 3 directors and shot you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But I just think the economy is weird, and
true.
like a lot of people aren't like spending as much money on films, and also making like people don't watch films as much as they used to.
True.
So maybe people don't see it as a viable option as much as they used to. But I'm instead of doing like shooting necessarily full feature length films, I'm like my creative side is I'm drawing a book right now. I'm illustrating a book.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing a comic book. I'm drawing. I do storyboards for people who are doing their own stories. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so like that creative side of me is being fed,
Yeah.
but I still think about how would I make this movie? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's important to like look. I think it's important to still feed that side of me,
That's
or
true.
just gonna die.
Let's talk about your filmmaking. I know I have a couple Tubi Kings,
Sure.
as I call them.
Yeah.
And you're one of them.
Yeah, man.
Um,
I'm not embarrassed by it at all. I think Tubi is great.
and that's it's filmmaking,
Mhm.
right?
It is filmmaking.
It's an outlet, right? And 100%, I think it's a distribution game,
Mm-hmm.
right? Not all films will end up on the Amazons. And sometimes it might end up on the Amazon and it's a wrong film. It ends up getting shelved. You'll say it went on Amazon, but you did you fulfill why you made the film, which is reach the audience that you were reaching,
Oh yeah.
right? Sometimes it's like and a lot of filmmakers will end up going to YouTube for free, right?
Sure.
So if we're looking at it from that point of view of saying, hey, on YouTube for free, but if you go to Tubi, you're actually getting distribution. The guy on Tubi won.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And he gets to make another film. I don't have any films on Tubi, but that's because I've not worked with Tubi directors, But you have, and there is a strategy there from
Yeah.
a lot of them that I've spoken to.
Sure.
What's your thought process on this?
Sometimes it's more about like teaching them that it's important, teaching them the value of slowing down and trying to make a thing well. And it's not like it's not like they don't understand that you have to try to make a thing of value that somebody will watch and not just like forget about in like 5 seconds.
Let's walk it back of teaching them.
Mhm.
Let's frame it from the beginning, right? Of who are the let's say the directors, the producers, and what their process is to they end up on Tubi. Like just the understanding of, I know there's a lot of training there, and you and I have had these conversations, but to someone who doesn't understand that process of those kind of films, how would you explain that to them to understand?
Well, now you can get on. There's websites you can go to get your project onto Tubi or onto other like what's Pluto, and there's another one is I forget the other one.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of platforms you can do it. One of them is Film Hub.
Mhm.
It's really good. So say first things first, man. First things first. If
Yes.
you want to be a cinematographer, if you want to make movies,
Yes.
you have to get around other people who will finish a project, because boy,
Very important.
it's one of the hardest things in the world to
That is
finish
true.
a project.
That's true.
And it's even harder to find people who will finish a project.
Exactly.
So that's why I don't look down on people who are on Tubi. Like a lot of people in our kind of orbit are very precious or very like, I would never be on Tubi. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. But
why do you think that is?
well, because it's like we're hipsters, man. Even if we say we're not, like we're kind of like
'Cause
precious, man.
Can you, if you are making, and this is to you, if you are making a film that's going to end up on, let's say, Amazon, you're going to make a film that's going to end up on Tubi, what would you do different?
Well, I would definitely do different would be like Tubi. They're shorter turnarounds. Like, so if you're gonna shoot a film on Tubi, chances are their budget is really low, so they can't afford to do like a month-long project.
Yeah.
So you're probably shooting maybe a week and a half to film a lot. So there are more
week and
scenes
a half in a feature?
in a feature that happens.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
How many pages a day?
well, that's what I'm saying. Like that's one of the biggest things. Is like when you're talking to a director, a
Yeah.
new director, you
Yeah.
have to realize, man, bro, you or lady, I don't want to be sexist at all, but like, yo, you can't film 20 scenes in a day. You just can't do it. I'd say my sweet spot is 7 scenes in a day. If it's more than 7, it's just gonna get worse. Like, no, the longer you have your crew there filming, the worse the product's gonna get, my guy.
That is true.
You can't have people standing out for 20 hours filming. And you think the project's gonna be good. It's
That
not.
is very true. I've seen that with especially like new time producers, directors.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the mind or the human body has a point
Yeah.
where it caps, right?
Uh-huh.
Meaning now people are just zombies, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're moving, but are they there? Probably they're not. So it's sloppy work.
Mm-hmm.
And I've shot a feature where
Not just sloppy.
everything that goes after 12,
Mm-hmm.
we have to reshoot.
You have to
or
reshoot it.
It wasn't usable.
Not
You
even
know what I
just
mean?
that. It's not just sloppy. It gets dangerous because you're working with heavy equipment. C-stands, combo stands, sprinters, lights, rigging lights. People trip. People don't
Exactly.
secure things right. Like the longer you're on set, the more dangerous it can get. Do you know what I mean? Because
That's
people
true.
are tired,
That's true.
and you don't have a secondary crew to come in.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
So
And you
do
know about that.
I know
you
very
know-
well about that. You know,
filming in
I've
Niger.
lived that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a whole other story. You know, I think I've heard about this, right? And I'm gonna
heard
go
about
back.
it.
I'm gonna go back to
Sure.
to our conversation of like the indie world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for us, traveling and actually shooting a whole feature in Niger.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out, it's on Amazon right now,
Mm-hmm.
so you can check it out. It's called Twin Flames. That's our latest one.
Yeah. Really good, great work though.
You seen it?
Yeah. No, I haven't seen all the, but I've seen when you were editing. I've seen the rushes.
So it's out now.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's free. Probably should be.
Yeah, I'll pay for it, man. I'm your friend.
Um,
Oh my
those are good friends.
Yeah.
But on that topic and I think I've heard it about Asia and India. They do the same thing where they have 2 teams that flip.
Yeah.
So you have, other than the difficulty comes in is your heads, right? You can't have 2 cinematographers, right? So you can't replace that one, the director. But for the rest of the crew, and this was happening to us when we were shooting in Nigeria, right? Our crew would flip because they would take breaks,
Yeah.
take lunch, and then there would be someone else standing in or sitting in and kind of working their part. I'm yet to figure out how they do it in some of these places, but obviously, you can run your days better.
That's
but
a good
the
idea.
fact that you could be able to do that creates longer days.
Mm-hmm.
But for the heads, I know myself and travel with Malik and Balaji was our director. We were there the whole time. By the time we figured out that lunch was not a hard stop, it
Mm-hmm.
was a flip on the crew and they would come back well fed and keep going. That's when we realized, man, we need to kind of work ourselves our own lunch, you know?
Yeah.
But also, we knew we only had a month to shoot this project there. So we were working, you know what I mean? We
Yeah.
were making our days and sometimes were longer. But a lot of lessons there. Doing it, I would do a few things a little bit different, right? Now that I understand the landscape a little bit more. Um, but to that, when you approach an indie here, let's say, okay, you say the first time directors or the directors who are pushing it to those platforms. Um, how do you how are your production days and how do you prepare yourself for that? Because I know there'll be a cinematographer out there who's in that same space and maybe it's a first one, right? They've not had how many films do you have on?
I got a lot of films under my belt, man.
Exactly.
I've done a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So to that, like I'm sure there's a learning experience. What does that look like and what advice would come from that in terms of how do you navigate?
Yeah. So I think one thing that I learned is I'm more patient. I've always been an okay teacher, like being patient with new people, but I've gotten better at it. So um, there, since I've done so many of those films, I find myself teaching more people um, that I work with, and I've got no problem with that. Some people don't have the patience for it, but I think it's important to be able to like slow down and be like, hey, this has to be done this way because of this, and explaining to that first time director like, hey, it's important that this is done correctly because if you don't, then later on you're gonna have problems. You know,
True.
so I want to make your production as smooth as possible, and if you let me, I'll make it smooth. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Um, Also, like the process of preparing for me, like it's more like the music I listen to in the day. I like before we start, I listen to certain music, and I'll talk to the director and get where their mind is at because some directors are really they stressed, like really stressed, and it's like, man, I gotta get into their frame of mind, so we're not clashing on set. We make sure our department heads are working smoothly. It's like it starts from the top. It really is, and I think I learned that because I was in the military, um, and I had the experience of telling 20-year-olds what to do.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Like just doped up on testosterone
yeah,
and
that's
beer
true.
from the last night. So you gotta learn to be patient and like people are gonna get angry, but just be cool. If you're yelling, you're not communicating correctly. Do you know what
That's
I mean?
true. That is true.
People stop listening to you when you're yelling at them. Plain and simple. You know.
That's true.
So anyway, that's my
How
process.
how do you a lot of films that we end up doing, especially on the indie side, for the first time directors,
Mm.
do you find yourself more of a co-director than a
Mm.
cinematographer?
Yeah. Yeah.
And how do you approach that without overstepping?
Well, again, I got no ego, man. Like I got no ego. Like I don't need to be the boss. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to make your vision. So I'm gonna make another analogy. I'm currently illustrating a children's book
Mm-hmm.
with a first time author,
Mm-hmm.
and this first time author was very nervous a lot of times. Do you
Yes.
know what I mean?
Yes.
And they had a lot of things that they thought that they wanted, but I knew a week from now they're gonna change their mind about it,
True.
right? So what I'm like, hey, you don't like my thing now? I'll talk to you about it. I'll if you say no now, that's cool. But a week from now, if that way you are thinking it's gonna go doesn't start happening the way you think it is, I have this backup for you. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Like if you say no the first time, I'm like, cool. But a week from now, we're in the same position. I'm like, hey, we can always fall back to that other thing. And it's no ego. I don't need to be right. I don't need to be on camera.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not like Diddy all in the videos. Do you know what I mean? Bad.
You don't want to be in the videos.
All, you know what I mean? I don't need to be, you know what I mean? That's what it is.
No, that's true. I always feel like opposition.
Also, I feel like I say, you know what I mean, a lot. I got to stop saying, you know what I mean, a lot.
And you're from New York.
You know what I'm saying, son? Yo, for real, son.
For real.
For real.
I know.
Know
I
what I
have
mean?
seen you pull a Puerto Rican accent, a Jamaican accent, a New York attitude,
Mm-hmm.
all in one day.
Sure. When I get very angry, it comes out. And it will come out. Like we were on a shoot in San Francisco, you and I, and we were shooting in a hotel. And for some reason, this guy wouldn't let us. We had the credentials. He wouldn't let us into the loading dock for some reason. We had all this equipment. We're like, what the, bro? What do you think we're here for? You think
We left home. We left home. Be like, hey, we're just gonna show up over here.
with a
We
bunch
have
of camera?
nothing to do. We just
Bro,
want to load it.
he was
I know.
playing with his life that
I
day.
know. I saw
He
it.
was
I
playing
saw
with
it.
his life that day. Anyway,
It's usually like, Ben, stand aside.
yeah,
Let's
man.
see.
What
But
about you,
how-
man? I've seen
how
you
long-
get I've seen you get angry.
I do. I
But you're
try
not
and
like a-
channel the inner,
You know what I mean?
inner self.
You get real quiet when you're angry. I noticed you get like you get real quiet and you go off.
No, because in those situations, and you
Mhm.
have had these conversations, right? I know sometimes it's, and I think this is a Kenyan upbringing, right?
Mhm.
Of, especially with authority,
Mhm.
because it's a power play to them,
Yeah.
right? It's not about understanding the why. It's about showing you are in my house.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
I am in control. And if you see that, because that's just muscling, right?
Mhm.
It's just due to our situation in Kenya, the cops are very aggressive.
Mhm.
So you have to kind of take it down to give them that upper hand, right? Because once they feel like, okay, he respects that he's in my house and I am the authority in this, then there's room for conversation,
Yeah.
right? Because now it's, okay, I understand. I understand everything. I respect everything. I know I'm in your house. And sometimes they're not even the people in charge,
Sure.
right? They probably got beat down from the top.
So they're giving it to you.
You know, a lot of times
Yeah, that's what
that
happens.
you were the one who's supposed to take this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
This a simple situation with Jeff. You know Jeff.
Yeah, yeah.
You guys went to surf together.
Yeah, not together, but we both were. He's Army Marines.
Yeah. So you both. It's
Yeah.
interesting. Surrounded by camera people who actually
We're in the military.
were in the
Surprisingly,
military.
there's a lot of like structure that's similar to the military. You know what I mean?
It is. It is.
Yeah, so,
I like it
no.
because of the discipline.
Yeah, yeah.
Honestly, like I think there's having structure and a lot of us as filmmakers, as much as you learn about the filmmaking, the craft. I think a lot of it comes from having the structure, right, to stay in it.
What were you saying?
But that was gonna be a long story of just authority, just the muscling part, right? And this was we were heading out. We had a carnet. If it's basically the paperwork when you're traveling outside the country. You show that the equipment that's leaving the country belongs to the U.S. and you've paid tax here.
Yeah.
So when you go to a foreign country, they don't tax you on it, but the paperwork has to be signed both sides of the country. But in SFO, you go through the opposite side, right? The exit, because customs is built when you're entering the country. So we finished with the first customs guy on the outside. He opens the door. He lets us in. We get towards the gate. Customs guy throws a fit. A random runs up to us yelling,
Oh yeah.
going off. You guys in the exit. We're gonna arrest you. I'm gonna arrest you. I'm gonna do all these things. We're like, we didn't have time, right? So I look at Jeff and I'm like, okay, this is a time like we just need to kind of let him finish the yelling and everything, because anything we say will be, So he gets super aggressive. He's like, move your things on the side. stand over here. So he was going through this whole fit. And this whole time, the carnet, I have it on top of the cart, right? So he finishes, he's looking at us, and I'm waiting, right? I'm like, let's give you time before we start talking, because this might turn into a
Yeah, it might arrest
catastrophe.
you. Yeah.
So he's like, you're not supposed to go through there. I was like, your customs guy, just let us in. Because the door, someone needs to open it. You know what I mean? It's not like
didn't
we
just
we
walk
just
in.
don't have a key
Yeah.
to open this whole
Yeah.
thing. So someone buzzed us in. So he's like, what do you guys need over here? It's like, oh, we have a carnet and we need. It's like, you're supposed to go through that. We're like, there's no other way to come through here. This is where we usually come through. So he's angry as hell. He calls whatever the other guy who comes in, who's actually now the power.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh, it's the kind of regular, like the attitude just changed. But this man was so angry, staring at us this whole time.
He was a fool. He played like a fool.
I'm sorry we used that door. You know, because I'm like, how do we make this? Because you could see he's steaming.
Yeah.
I'm like, so when, we were walking past him, I was like, I'm sorry we used that door. We were just told, we were following instructions, because it's interesting, right? We were in his house, right?
Yeah.
And he had to show that this is his thing. But to that,
you're very good at not matching the energy of the person that's wrong. That's very good at. You're very good at
learning.
that. I'm not that good at that.
I have seen you. we have traveled together. I think it was Canada.
Yeah.
I was like, you're gonna get all our bags open right now.
I don't. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm not like crazy about it, but I'm not like I used to be when I was
just,
young. But
put on your New York.
yeah, I'll get like.
I always call it your New York style.
Yeah.
I
remember like there was a. I worked with there's a director from LA, and there's a bunch of people there, so I'm not giving away the name or the thing. But he was a younger director. He was probably like 28 to 32, and he had come up I was filming his short film, and he came on set. He hadn't talked to anybody that day. He came on set and he just started going off about. This is the first day of the film, about how when he was on his last project, they had to get a tremendous 36 roses, white roses, a certain type of white roses. And so he went to this flower shop to get these white roses, and they got white roses, but they were off-white and they weren't perfectly white. So he screamed at this woman and he yelled at her. He was calling her all kinds of crazy, florist, calling all kinds of crazy names, and got her to give them a refund and then order white roses the next night.
Okay.
Was screaming at her, got the owner involved and everything like that, right? And then I was looking at him, and I leaned over him and said, "Hey, man, this is the first day.
This is the first day.
Bro,
Don't give us your nightmares on the first day."
You're not. Look, it doesn't make you look cool to yell at some poor lady.
But this wasn't even this film.
No, it was a film when he was in LA.
He was probably setting precedents.
Yeah,
to
I
you
was
guys.
Like, bro,
don't mess with me. I'm gonna call you out. It's like, don't mess with me, man. I get
this
refunds.
doesn't make you look cool, man. We don't. He was like, "Oh, yeah, oh." I'm like, "All right, man."
It's like, I usually tell the boys, and a lot of my reference would be the kids. It's like, I usually give me something positive.
Yeah.
You start a conversation on a positive note, you drive it towards positive attitude and energy.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go from there, it's like, okay, should I say anything after this?
Like we.
But how long have we known each other, actually?
Who?
You and I. How long have we been collaborating? I know we've been talking about this for a long time.
I think I met you in
everyone
16?
keeps asking us, right?
2016 or
Wow.
Was it 15 or 16? I think I met you.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Okay, so I met you through Jeff. Jeff is the one who told me about you. He was like, "Hey, you're black. There's another black guy who does. You'll love him." Now, he didn't say exactly that, but that's how I took it.
That's how I like. You guys should meet. Yeah.
And then so you had I think you had just bought your Alexa.
Okay.
And then you were like, so you were filming in the city, and then I just show up like on time, and you're like, "Hey, do you know how to use this camera?" And I was like, yeah. And he goes, "All right, here." And he just gave it to me. And this big Alexa, and I did not know how to use it.
Okay.
So I was
You
running
lumped
around
your
San
way through the
Francisco.
work.
But the thing I imagine I was cool because I look like security.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm walking around with it. I look like security, so
Yeah,
nobody messing with
nobody's
it.
messing
And, you
with
know,
it.
in San Francisco, they steal cameras here.
Yeah.
Be careful, y'all.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
it went really well. And I remember we went back to your studio, and then you had just been telling me, I'm like, hey man, how do you think it went? And you go, yeah man, it's a great job. I'll call you again, bro. It's like really, really good. You did a fantastic job. Just give me a call and I'll get you on set again. I'm like, all right, man. And then you turn around and go the other way back into the studio,
Okay.
and I back right into your
that
car.
was the first time.
Yeah, the first time. Yeah, I turn my music on. I turn on Spotify, and I'm like, yeah. I'm playing like Mobb Deep because you know what I'm saying. I did all right. You know what I'm saying? I'm playing like Shook Ones, and I back right into your car and mess up the entire back of your. I'm like, and you come out, you're like, what the hell just happened, man? I'm like, I'm so sorry. I don't know. I'm so sorry, bro. Like, it just was like, I don't know. I'll pay for it. And then you were like, cool, man. You were like, all right, man, you sent me the check, right? And I pay for it. And then you were like, hey, you want to come on set again? I'm like, cool. I would have never hired me again. I don't know how that worked, but yeah.
You know, I think it's the same way as your story with the roses. I was like, hey, I got a refund. I yelled at this guy. You were like, what's the worst I could do right now? Just to kind of test the limits.
Yeah, right?
That, you set an expectation of, I can go this far,
but
I will hit your car.
But I didn't drop the camera, which I think is the plus.
That's the most important
That's the plus.
part.
I didn't drop the camera.
Yeah. As long as the camera was okay.
You didn't hire me as a driver that day. You hired me as a camera guy. Yeah, I mean,
and you had this. I want to call it old. I don't know what I would call it. What it's
the old Cadillac.
classic.
That old Cadillac.
Was it a classic or was it a Mercedes?
No, it was a Eldorado. It was a Eldorado. Yeah.
It was an Eldorado.
Yeah, the Eldorado.
I always thought it was a Mercedes. That was Do you have like a cream Mercedes?
No, that was the Eldorado.
Okay.
Yeah, back right into it.
Yeah,
made of steel.
Yours was made of steel. You didn't have any dents or anything, and that's the part we're laughing about. Yeah, right? We're like, mine was plastic, man. You just warped that whole thing
right through it. I wasn't the worst person to mess up your car, so I feel better.
I know, and you all here, so I think to me it's about personality.
Sure,
right?
Yeah.
It's a lot of these things are materialistic or material, like equipment or whatever, right? But as long as the person means well and their mind is in the right place, that's what I value, right? Like the growth of all of us is based off of that.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Like for us to be where we are right now, from 2016.
Yeah, it's been a while.
You know what I mean?
I think it was 15. I think it might have been 15. Yeah, because I just graduated film school. I think
we've had. Man, you bluffed your way through this, huh?
Yeah, man. That's what you gotta do.
I'm a sucker. I felt all this, but
Bro,
look at you now, though. We're doing a ton of projects together. You know,
man. And they only get bigger, man. Really, I think the one thing about especially Alewa Media and like the studios is like there's so much potential to grow. I mean, we do like really professional, really well thought out work, and we're on time and we're dedicated. And I think that's really important.
That's true.
And in time, who knows where it can be.
That's true. That's true. And to that point, I think
Alewa Studios and Productions.
Studios. And to that point is we've done some storyboards together too.
Sure,
Remember?
I remember that. Yeah,
a couple of Google commercials.
Yeah, man, that was fun. It turned out
That was
well.
actually the first one.
That was the first
That
one.
was the first one that were like, "Hey, Ben, you want to do storyboards now?"
Yeah.
And you had
you never paid me
Wes-
for that, though.
Wes Fleming shooting it.
Never paid me for that.
You were still young, trying to figure out what to do.
I'm your same
worked on
age,
that
bro.
project, though.
I'm your same age.
You worked on the
Yeah,
project.
I did. No.
Right? I was like, hey,
Talk about young, man.
you still figuring out where the storyboards are the thing you can do.
No, I'm just kidding.
There was room in there, but it did.
Bro, you gotta see them. They pretty dope. If I do say so myself, I would pay me for it.
For those storyboards. Those ones you actually I remember. Yeah, you should have been paid for it, but you weren't sure whether you could actually do it.
Yeah, I definitely
You're
was
like,
trying to.
I want to try it out.
I was testing the waters. I've seen. I understand.
And you worked on the set.
Yeah, I did
for
work
that
on
one.
it. Yeah, I did
That was
work.
a
That
really
was
good-
that turned out really well.
Yeah, we had Wes Fleming was the director on that.
Yeah,
one.
man. Yeah.
Right now he's in Austin. But
Yeah, I've been going to Texas a lot. I've been thinking about like doing some like going to see Austin because I've only been to Austin. I went for South by Southwest. I filmed for for Audible Stories. Like we were doing.
Used to be at Audible.
Yeah, I used to be at Audible. We used to do we were like a huge comedy production. Like most of the big comedians now started off kind of like we were filming them basically. It was called Rooftop Studios.
Mm-hmm.
I don't endorse it because I feel like there were some things that were happening behind the scenes.
Are they
that
still
I had
there
no-
or they go
No,
swallowed
they're
and
gone. They got bought by Amazon by Audible.
Yeah.
And it was turned into Audible Comedy, which is cool.
Is it still there?
Yeah, it's still around.
I use Audible only for books.
Yeah,
honestly.
for books,
I
but it
see
has
they
some
do
really good
podcasts
shows.
and other things.
They have great podcasts, great shows. I'm not endorsing them. Again, I'm not trying to endorse them, but we did a good thing. And
you should have been invited to the wedding. Could have done
The
a good
Bezos wedding?
endorsement, and then you could have been invited to the wedding.
Bro, what would you wear to the Bezos weddings if you were invited? What would you wear? You got anything in your closet that's like fly enough for a Bezos wedding?
I think I'll wear slacks.
You gonna wear slacks? All right.
Seriously, tennis shoes. At that point,
Yeah.
I'm like, what do I have to prove, man?
You ain't got
Everyone
nothing to
out there has everything
Yeah,
more
they're
than
wearing-
I do.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? Because that's what they say, right? Like you look at these situations, it's like the guy who's the flyest looking out there,
Sure.
probably the most broke out there.
Probably. Nah, it's about the
You know?
watch, bro. It really is. So like when I go home, like I'll be like, I ain't gonna lie, like you go to Manhattan, people look like like people dress kind of bummy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
in New York, like you look at the shoes and you look at the watch. Like if the shoes is ill and the watch is ill, everybody like they got money. They look fly.
They look flat.
But like if you dress up on like you like everything you're wearing is tailor made and all that. You don't got money.
Gucci or whatever that is.
Yeah.
Like they're like, nope, that's a broke man walking around.
Yeah, you got to go to Jeff Bezos. You got to pay. You got to spend your child's college money on a watch to go to Jeff Bezos' wedding, bro. You just something fly.
Maybe
You
just
could return
don't-
it.
Or maybe you just don't wear a watch.
You return it afterward, bro. You just be like,
Just don't wear a
the book-
watch.
Oh,
You know.
man.
Sometimes when you don't have, don't try pretend. With all honesty, you'd rather not pretend.
Sure, yeah.
Just go. I would probably wear like 2 of these on both sides. Be like, this is, I'll lose the Apple Watch. I'm like, but just wear all African. That's how I would roll.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
I would just
what was
like-
the suit? You would wear the what suit you were
Oh,
talking
the
about?
one I told you to the Kaunda suit.
The Kaunda suit.
Hey, they might think I'm Idi Amin or one of them.
You know what I mean?
One of the guys. I think Idi Amin used to wear. It's popular in Africa.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I know our current president has been wearing that. But Julius Nyerere, who's
Yeah,
part of
that's true.
the stuff that we're working on together, that I need to give you. Is
Yeah,
part of
man.
that.
You gotta write that thing, bro.
I will write it. I think we're ready for it right now.
Let me ask you, because you've been asking me questions. Do you even watch movies anymore, bro?
Where's that?
You got time to watch movies, bro? You running a business. You got kids. You going camping. You know what I'm saying?
I do. I still do.
You watch anything you watch lately that you really like? Or you just watch a
You know
TV
what I
shows?
try to? Huh?
You watch a TV
You know what?
show?
Yeah. I think right now with everything, it's the same thing that you're saying. It's a lot of TV shows, right? I was trying to watch. I watched Old Guard, but it was just the second
I don't
one.
want to talk bad
didn't-
about it, but
didn't
it's not
sit.
for me.
It didn't sit.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to build a franchise there, but I don't know.
I think it was a different director, too. The lady who directed the first one she's the lady who did The Woman King. I think that's 2 different directors.
Oh, okay.
So it might be that just the style of the director isn't for you.
The
You know what I
first
mean?
one hit. It was good, tight, well done. The second one had too many open plots. When I'm watching something and I feel like I need to start working, I have a very active mind. So I start getting ideas of
Yeah,
other
right.
things I should be doing.
That shouldn't be happening.
That means I was lost. But I did, which I love those mythology kind of films, and they just did a second season.
Sandman?
It's Sandman.
Sandman, yeah.
They have the season 2.
So here's the thing.
Tell me.
I love that guy. Like he's one of my favorite writers when I was a
Yes,
kid. When I was a kid, he had Sandman, the comic book. I'm a comic book nerd, and then he did novels called American Gods and Another really good one is called Anansi Boys. It's
I
about
loved all those.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
Do
he
they have
has
the Netflix? Sorry, do
Mhm.
they have the Netflix? One of them, they did a Netflix audio version, right?
yeah,
That is
really good,
actually narrated
really good.
multiple voices.
Yeah,
You and I were geeking over
yeah,
that for a
it's
while.
really and
Uh-huh.
I think that it's very imaginative. You don't really see things that imaginative now,
True.
which is
True.
good. Yeah, I've been watching Mobland. Have you watched that?
Man, I'm done. I watched it all the way.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to watch,
Pretty
isn't
good.
it? You're like my girlfriend's brother was like, it's like The Wire, and I was like, and so I went and I watched it, and I was like, bro, this ain't like The Wire. It's good, but
It's good.
it ain't The
It
Wire.
ain't
The
The Wire.
Wire is
The Wire is
yeah, it's good, man. Yeah.
it's on its own lane. But no, it was Mobland was good.
Mobland is
Mobland was
really good, and it's shot beautifully. You know, it's it's what's his name? Who he did The Gentleman.
No, I know you're talking about. He's
He's
actually
one of my. He's probably my
favorite
favorite
directors.
director. Yeah, yeah, he's so
There you
good.
go.
I
That's
can't believe
correct.
blanking on his name. But he's amazing. He's
I
done.
can see. Yeah. Damn, his name is and
We'll cut this
that's
and
it.
then
But
put
that's the reason why I
right
actually
here.
watched it. That's why the
Put it-
reason why Mobland piqued my interest.
Yeah,
was because of him.
but he's a great
His
director.
camera moves on his shots are on point.
And not only that, he thinks about like every location he films in is just beautifully curated. Like
Yes.
like the back, just from the walls, the texture on the walls,
Yes.
to the clothes watches they're wearing or the hats they're wearing. Do you know what I mean? It's just
Exactly.
all about the visual and
There's a lot
style
of
of it.
thought process to
Yeah.
it. And compared to was the other director who does a lot of 2D?
Oh, and Wes Anderson.
Wes Anderson.
Yeah, he's
right?
very similar to Wes Anderson.
Wes
in
Anderson
that.
is flat.
Yeah.
But I was about to remember his name. But he has DK, did you find him? Guy
Yeah,
Ritchie.
yeah,
There you go.
I can't believe I forgot. I
Me
mean,
too. I could see it and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. But Guy Ritchie has depth
Mhm.
to his scenes. But yes, they're very colorful.
Mhm.
Also the framing is
Framing.
always like, and there's not, the camera moves, but it's intentional.
Sure.
Very, very intentional.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you'll enjoy a scene and sometimes you're like, it's not moving. But once it starts going, you're like, oh, man, that's like,
It's like he's another thing about like being a cinematographer with a director that's great like that is like you don't really notice the difference in the cinematographers he uses because your cinematographer. This is what I think of being a cinematographer. It's not like you shouldn't notice me. You know what I mean?
that's true.
You shouldn't notice who the cinematographer. I mean, there's certain things that I do that it's very similar to other. You know what I mean? That I'll do in another scene, but like. It shouldn't be about the cinematographer. It should be about the director. And when you watch a Guy Ritchie film or show, like if you watch he did King Arthur. He did King Arthur.
Yes, he did.
And a lot of people skip that movie. I think it's wonderful. Like it's
I watched it.
underrated.
Yeah.
It's a big budget, like sword and sorcery film. But when you watch it, it's like, oh, this is a Guy Ritchie movie. Do you know what I mean? Like you could,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
He has a signature.
He has a signature, and it should be about that director, and doesn't matter what cinematographer he's working with. It's about you know. What I mean?
Because and I think you notice both worlds because the cinematographer also has to relay or understand the message of the director, right?
Sure.
Because I always look at it as my role is to kind of translate what the director wants, right? Their vision of what that scene is, right? But also, I am not framed to say I cannot, if the director wants something different, I should use the same tools and knowledge that I have to actually help them create it
Yeah.
and not be, this is the only way that I do it. You know, it has to look a certain way, right? And, we balance between those two worlds, right? There's the moody feel of every single thing, and that's how you light everything. But if you're working with a director who wants to step a little bit, more, commercial or a little bit more glossy.
Oh yeah.
It's like you should be, as much as a lot of cinematographers like leaning towards that, and it's a trend right now, right? Like a lot of films are more moody, more dark,
I
more
dislike
engaging
it.
on that.
I
But
dislike it.
As a cinematographer, I think training or eye, you should be able to balance these two
Sure,
worlds,
yeah.
right? And it's good to have a signature, right? And do you think, since we work more on commercials, industrials, and all these other things, we have more flexibility than someone who just sticks to narrative?
I don't know. I disagree with that. I think people who just stick to narrative are, well, I guess depends on the era you come up in, because there's a lot of cinematographers who work now who don't have like the breadth of knowledge of like the old cinematographer. Like if you look at a Caleb Deschanel, you know what I'm saying? Look at his background
Yeah.
and the amount of things he's filmed.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they have he has the flexibility to make it look like, whatever.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's true.
He's wonderful. But like I think when you get stuck doing corporate or live events, or do you know what I mean, like that, you sometimes you forget about the artistic side of that's like I was saying before, the artistic side kind of dies. You don't want to starve it. So like there's an element of, so I film a lot of live concerts and stuff.
Yeah.
I'll be
Yeah.
working on that a lot. And you go there and you set up cameras and you pick the lenses, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're not setting up the lights. You don't have control of the lights.
No.
There's a lighting director and designer. You don't have control of the pyros.
Yeah.
And you don't have control of the wardrobe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you lose a lot of creativity because you have to be able to do something quick, and you have to be repeatable over the course of a tour. You know what I mean?
Got it.
That's not to say that all of them are. I'm not to say they're all like creatively bankrupt or anything. I'm not trying to say that, but I'm saying there's a danger in doing one thing over and over again, being really good at one thing,
Yeah.
and then not having the flexibility to jump into another thing.
No, that makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. To you, as we start getting, deeper into a close, is to you, what's your big picture? Like, you're here now, right? Where do you want to end up? Or where would you say, I am content, I am happy with the space that I'm in? And it might be now. I
am
don't know.
pretty. I thought about that
Is there-
before. It's like when I was on that ship on the USS Kitty Hawk, I was underway. I was in Hong Kong. We had just pulled into Hong Kong, right? And then the Hong Kong, the waters are just choppy. Hong Kong is like hot as Hawaii. It's like really tropical, right?
Yeah.
So I'm on this boat trying to get to shore of Hong Kong, and I'm looking at I'm like, where am I gonna be in 10 years? Like, what do I want to do?
Okay.
I thought about it, and I was like, I want to make movies.
Okay.
I want to be able to eat what I want when I want
Okay.
and still make movies. Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I think that would make
That's
me happy.
important.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if I can go to the restaurant I want to go to,
Yeah.
and if I can still make a narrative, tell stories,
Yeah.
I'm content. Like, I don't need to be. I would love to work on a feature length film for a major motion picture studio.
Yeah.
I'd love to work for Paramount, or is Paramount still around? I'm just kidding. I love Paramount. I'm a big fan of your Schwarzenegger show, not your Sylvester Stallone show. I love you guys. I'm not talking shit. I would love to work for a major motion picture studio, but also if you got a $20 million budget, or like say a $50 million budget, that's a lot of stress. That's a lot of not seeing your wife. That's a lot of like, you got to be in that for like 3 months, man. You're taking a lot of your life away.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know that I would be happier filming a Avengers movie or a Lord of the Rings film. So I think I'm pretty happy with what I got now.
Okay.
I wish I had a little bit more money in my pocket, but I don't.
We call you the rich uncle.
Yeah, man. I'll buy. I got enough to buy my nephews and my friends. And
Rich uncle is not rich enough. I don't know what the rest of us can be.
I mean,
able
I
to
just
do.
spent a lot of money on a restaurant.
And we
from
live vicariously. We kind of check in. We're like, hey, Ben, which restaurant did you go to? For some of us,
Lazy Bear SF. Go check it out. It's really expensive, but it's delightful. I recommend it. Anyway,
that was a good shout out to them.
Yeah. I don't like what I'm saying is not like I don't have an end goal. I just want to be able to do the thing I'm doing now. I think when you start thinking of things of an end goal, when you don't go to your end goal, you're unhappy. Do you know what I'm saying? I am happy making films.
Yeah.
Using
Do you believe
cameras.
in milestones then?
sure, you have to have goals. You have to have
Mm-hmm.
goals and milestones, but if you don't reach them, which is a possibility
Mm-hmm.
when you have a goal, it shouldn't make you unhappy.
That's true. That's true. To that, this is a very challenging industry, right?
Mm.
It's not unless you work for corporate or you have full-time gig.
Mm-hmm.
There's the ups and downs of like where work is coming from and all that. How do you balance that?
Well, I was working with actually a DP you hooked me up with years ago, actually, and he said that because I was still working at Disney Plus, I was doing streaming. I was helping AWS side and the streaming side. And anyway, don't worry about it. I asked him. I was like, "How did you do this full time?" Because I was still doing DP work full time or doing
Yeah.
camera op work,
Yeah.
part time. And
Yeah.
I was like, "How do you do this full time? Like,
Yeah.
how can you afford it?" And he said, "Hey, man, if you have the only way to do it is to not have a backup. Because if you do have a backup, if you want to go be uh, if you want to go be a corporate person, go be a
Yeah.
corporate person.
Yeah.
Don't have a backup. Just do the thing. If you want to be a filmmaker that shoots films, there's no backup. You shoot films. You might pick up little knowledge that could help you out in the future with other jobs, but
Yeah.
you don't have a fallback. Like, I'm gonna go be a plumber, or
Do you understand
do you know
plumbing?
what I mean? Not much.
It's just water going through a pipe, right?
Actually, I guess I do. When you put it that way, I guess I do.
Tire.
But you get what I'm saying. It's like I'm not trying to
say.
say you're not like you like this is a hard industry. It's difficult, and especially with the current tariffs and the
Yeah.
economy and so on
Yeah.
and so forth, it can make it harder. But if you think outside the box, if you are patient, and if you're dedicated, you're gonna make it work.
That's
Unless
true.
you get shot in the stomach tomorrow or something like that, or
That's true. That's
you
true.
know.
On the level of like, the day to day, on the mental, what tools do you equip yourself with?
Mm.
Kind of stay sane or stay balanced. Yeah.
Well, I do with there's a writer, Stephen King, says he writes every day. Like, he writes something every day. It doesn't matter exactly what you're writing. You have to do something that pertains to your profession or the thing you love once a day. Like, you have to, or you're never gonna be a cinematographer. You're never gonna be a writer. You're never gonna be a director. You have to do your thing every day, whatever it is. I draw every day. Every day, I take a picture or do video of something I think like my neighborhood. There's a stream in my neighborhood, and it goes into this beautiful like valley.
Yeah.
And I go every day and I take a video of something with the certain lighting that I want to do every day. So I'm always training myself to be ready to take the best. Do you know what I mean? So when I have a job, when I can apply that skill. Do you know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah, no, that's true.
So that's my thing.
Any projects coming up that you're like, this is cool, I want to share?
Yeah, I'm doing a documentary. It's a tough one because I don't know. I'll talk about it a little bit. So I have a friend who is who's currently going to school. He's a principal at a high school in Houston. And he and his friends and his girlfriend, they all decided, who are all teachers, that they would found their own school.
Yeah.
And it's a high school. It's a Montessori high school.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody's ever really heard of it. There's a couple around the country, but it's very rare. And they want to cater to lower income, Latino and Black immigrant families, but not exclusively that, right? So they are on this process, this journey of building their school, and I'm capturing the process in a very, and I'm not political at all. I'm not trying to be political, but in a very red state.
Okay.
They're trying to do something that's very inherently very progressive.
Yeah.
In a state that isn't really so friendly to progressive causes. I think it's something that's important to show, and I think it'll be compelling. right now we're having trouble with funding because before the election that just happened, the MAGA election, they had funding, complete funding for the school. They had
Okay.
all the money set
Yeah.
up, everything
Yeah.
was ready,
Yeah.
and then the elections happened in Texas and in Washington,
Yeah.
and they changed how grants for schools and for funding is gone.
Wow.
So the money they thought they had literally put down a bid on an actual school, like this school in downtown Houston,
Yeah.
and they had been approved, but now the money changed, so
Wow.
they're left in the wind. So anyway, it's a very compelling kind of situation,
Yeah.
and I'm having fun capturing it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Um, is there any film that you've done that you'd like people to go check out
Um,
and where they can find it?
oh boy. Yeah, there's a film called that I just finished last year. That's my buddy from film school. He made a creature feature movie called Bears on a Ship.
Yes, that's the one I was looking forward to hearing about.
Yeah, so another mutual friend of ours, John Gansman,
Uh-huh.
he did the sound, and he also he didn't do the music, but another friend of ours in LA did the music, but he did the sound and he did the bear, like the CGI of the bear, and it's about a crew of people who are stranded in Mexico
Okay.
after some strikes,
Yeah.
some airplane strikes. They get on this old dilapidated ship
Okay.
and to try to get back to America, and it just so happens these bears, deadly dangerous jungle bears, are on the ship trying to keep unalive them.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's it. Bears on the Ship. It's a comedy. It's funny. You'll enjoy it. And then also, The Nothing Man by Michael Fredianelli. That's actually we filmed that in Reno, Nevada, and in
Okay.
Tahoe.
I
That was
remember when
pretty
you were
good.
filming that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, those are some films.
Are they on what?
Yeah, you can find them on Tubi and I think Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Yes.
actually, not Bears on the Ship isn't there yet. We're still. Oh, so we're doing a premiere in September in New York City, and by Madison Square Garden in the Look Cinemas, and then we're doing. So it's still we're doing like a kind of like a tour of the country
Tour the
with it.
film.
Yeah,
That's good. That's good. It's always good because you get to interact with more filmmakers
Sure.
and kind of see the feedback and
Yeah.
kind of grow your audience a little bit more.
yeah, man, it's fun.
That's good. Any advice you'd give to any filmmakers who are getting into this industry?
Oh, learn how to be disappointed and
Okay.
not like let that stop you from achieving the thing you want to achieve.
Okay.
Finish your project, whatever. I don't care whatever the project is. If you don't like it, finish it. Put a ribbon on it, and learn the business side of your project. Like learn it because it's gonna keep you alive and fed. Yeah.
That's pretty good. Um, no, it's always a pleasure like connecting on this because we're lucky we're able to bounce around ideas and be able to grow and kind of see each other in different worlds, but we always come back in and make projects work together.
Mm-hmm.
But I think definitely community is important with everything that we do.
Mm.
It's just finding the right community and finding what keeps you going in this industry.
Mm.
Because I'm sure you have the same. A lot of friends who are burnt out and they go start something totally different,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Yeah, I
that's
got
what
a friend who moved to Thailand last month. Went to AFI. Moved to Thailand. Not talking mess about my friend. My friend's, he's a good dude. But he got burned out with Hollywood. He's got connections of people who were like doing Netflix shows, HBO, television. They're, like big time stuff. And he just got burned out with just being in Hollywood, like that whole
And that's
thing.
that's real, right? And that's where it's the question to you earlier was, what keeps you in this space, because there has to be, when that fire burns out, or just that little flame, that something that motivates you, and you're like, when I wake up in the morning, I have this drive because of this, right? Because that's what brought you into doing this. And that goes away, it just becomes a job, right? So how to differentiate and make sure that it doesn't turn into just a job is chasing that high, as we call it, right? You're chasing the high.
Heroin. We all love. No, we're not talking about that, right? What are we talking about?
The filmmaking high.
I'm sorry. Yes. Don't do
It's
drugs.
chasing your filmmaking high. But to you, sounds like from what you said, your filmmaking direction is, what was it?
My direction is.
What is your high? Or what
You know what? It's
what are you keeping in it?
doing a thing that I haven't done before and doing it like where I could be like, hey, it's not the best, but I'm proud that I was able to show it to people. And
Yeah. This is a time I used to wake up and, like, before the shoot that we were doing, and you'd have like the fear of not knowing whether you can accomplish that, because you've planned everything, right? But you don't know if there was any gap, of this any part of it that you're like, is this gonna work? And then, there's at the end of the day, when you get back and you look at what you actually accomplished, and the following day you do the same,
like, man, nice.
It becomes
Pretty cool.
you're looking for that, right?
Yeah.
Because there's so much you can prepare. You can storyboard it. You can build lighting diagrams and all that. But there's also the anomaly that you don't know what that is, right? And that's the one that you don't. The unknown is the one that sometimes you're like, I don't know what it is, but I have to anticipate, right? But not change the vision of what you're creating. But when you go in and you're like, oh, we did it.
Well, Roy, let me ask you a question, pal. I've known you for a while. We established that earlier on. But I never like you shoot a lot, man. But I never knew if you shoot something and you're ever like, man, I wish that was better. Or, you know what I mean? So like one time I went out to Nevada, the desert in Nevada, and I shot a short film, right? And then we all had a rap party. We had some guys with guns. They shot off some guns, smoked a lot of weed, started a fire. It was like a little, mini Burning Man, right? And then while everybody was having fun, I curled up into my tent. I snuck away and curled up in my tent. And I was like, oh, this is so bad. This is so awful. I suck at this. It's the worst thing ever. They're going to fucking hate it. And then 2 months later, it won a little award. And people were like, oh, it was pretty great. Excuse my language, guys. It's pretty great. And I always wondered if other DPs or filmmakers feel that. And now I know that's true. I want to know if you ever feel that.
I think all my projects.
Yeah.
And that's the crazy part. There's the doing, looking at it, and I think, and this goes with over processing brains, right? Like, there's, yes, you did it, but you still have to look at it from that point of view.
Yeah.
And also, like, you put yourself you put everything into every project that you do, right? But the unknown of whether and it's human beings, right? There are people who are confident enough to say, no, this is it.
This is the best ever.
This is the best thing ever.
I'm
and they
Zack
walk
Snyder,
out,
and this is the best thing ever.
This is the best thing ever.
I'm just
This
playing.
is done, and there's
Yeah.
some of us who are like, I think at the same time, try to do more, trying to help, like we're also thinking on the other side, right? Of like, is this going to cut well? Because when we were shooting, we were making all these scenes together,
Yeah.
right? But now it's out of our hands,
Yeah.
and it's on someone else's hands, right? So at that point, you're like, wait, are they going to make it work? Are they going to think the same way that I was thinking? Are they going to stitch it well? And, this gets us into editing, into color. You know what I mean? It's like, I created this, but he didn't. But when you look at it and people are like cheering on on a theater or somewhere where they're watching it, you're like, okay, now I can kind of relax. We did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's every project that I do.
Oh
I
boy, it
think
must be.
until I see it done, like complete and out,
Yeah.
and I still have questions on those ones.
Yeah.
Right? I
Right.
still have questions like, man.
Like
And
man.
the team here knows, like,
Yeah.
it's like we'll finish a project. I'm like still trying to improve it.
Yeah.
But a lesson learned, and I think it was a director who told me, like, at some point you have to learn to let go.
Hmm.
Right? We can perfect one thing and make it perfect, but we've wasted a lot of time. It's like knowing when to let go, right? And not over processing, because it's one piece and then you keep moving on. But I don't think I've had a moment where I was like super like 100% say, this is it.
Yeah, man.
This is it. We're not doing anymore. We've got it.
We got it.
We've got it.
Yeah.
And maybe someday, I don't know. Maybe we need to talk to those people who are that confident,
Yeah.
right? But we know we make the art that we make, but we also have to present it to others. And also, we are not the only people in this piece, and I think that's the other part, right?
Yeah.
To make a film is not one person. It's like you have the director's vision, you have the cinematographer.
Right.
When you start going to posts, things start changing. You start
Yeah,
going
it's
to
not
color,
all you.
things start changing. How many projects have you lit and you're like, this looked perfect, and then you look at it when it comes from color and you're
You're
like,
like, what did you do to my baby?
you should have just called me.
Why?
Yeah.
Why did you even hire me if you didn't
Exactly,
want what I shot?
exactly.
You know.
But yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
but as long as we feel and that's usually at the end of the
Yeah.
shoot, right? Because you are feeling like you could have done more.
Mm.
I don't know if that was a thought.
Always.
Because I always feel like, and
Yeah.
that's where you probably are crawling into your tent, is I wish I could do A, B, C, and D. Because you had so many ideas, but time kind of compressed it, right? You're like, maybe the next shot I would have done would have been better. No, the shot that you did was actually the perfect one.
There's a film that I just gaffed recently. It's called. It's a short film. It's called American Dream. It's about a. It's actually pretty good. My buddy from film school came back up to LA from LA and was like, "Hey man, could you gaff this project for me?" And I gaffed some projects, but like this one I'm pretty proud of. I thought it really turned out really well. And during the premiere, I looked over at him, and he was just like this.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I got to tell you, it's just like, you know what I mean? And when you watch it, you're like, this is really well shot. Like he did a great job. The lighting is pretty good. But like he did a great job with this project, and I looked over at him, and he's just like, but he didn't. I don't think he saw me see him. But I was like, oh, there's a lot of other people kind of go through that too.
Because
You know
you
what I
have
mean?
to think about it, like leading up to the shoot,
Yeah.
in your mind, you've built, and that's how I end up processing a lot of my stuff, right? The
Yeah.
evening, especially if we've already gone through the script, we've gone through everything. In your mind, you have this lighting, you have this camera movement, you've built the whole, you've basically shot it in your
Yeah.
head. But when you get on set, they are normally of like, oh wait, the light just creeped
Just
through.
changed, yeah.
I need to kind of think on my feet. We
Yeah.
don't have the time to adjust for that. Or this changed. Oh, my dolly system is
Yeah.
not gonna fit in the right spot, even though we tested it, or we don't have the time to use the Dana dolly, or we don't have the Fisher dolly.
Well, also you like your perspective changes. Like when you plan a thing versus when you actually are in the space. Like you could plan, like you do a shot list or a storyboard and then be ready, and then when you get into the space and you're like, this space, I thought the space was going to be larger. I thought the color on the walls would look more vibrant.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that maybe the actor would be larger in the frame, or maybe have more movement. You know what I mean? Like these
True.
little things
True.
that change how you see it on set versus when you plan it. And then when you see the rushes, you're like,
But that's it. And I think that's one lesson I'll give to any like filmmaker coming in terms of like, you have to be flexible. You have to keep an open mind.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Because what you end up doing is you'll end up spending so much time trying to force this thing to be, because that's the vision that you had. Then looking at it and saying, we are here now. How do we still make the best out of this? How do we reframe this? How do we do this, right?
yeah,
Because if it's not working, you can spend everyone's time on set, your gaffer, your lighting people, to try and create something that probably would not be exactly that.
Yeah.
Or you can have the conversation, we have this. And you've seen, and half of all the best shots always end up being that unplanned or
Right.
something else,
Yeah.
like the lighting on the window, the water on the window, the rain, like it's those little things that you didn't anticipate. But you also have to keep an open mind to kind of receive it than saying, this is what it is, right? Unless you're in a closed set in a studio, then you can build it exactly as you wanted it.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, so any other thoughts? I feel like you and I have had a pretty good conversation, and there'll be more of this.
Yeah, man. More? What do you mean?
We'll keep building in the future.
Sure.
I think there's growth in all our future portfolios and whatever we need to be building.
Yeah. You know what's funny is I'm a cinematographer, and I would be furious if somebody looked in the camera, but I've spent like the whole time looking in the.
I notice you breaking all the walls and just
Like, what am I
"Which camera
doing?
do I need to look at?
What do I do with my hands?
What do I do with my hands?" But hey, that's what cinematographers do. At least
Yeah.
you know which camera to look at. I hope.
I was looking at this one every once in a while.
It's good that he's not seeing you. But
It'd
no.
be better if none of them saw me.
Before we close, what's your thought on AI?
Boy, is it. Boy, I got a weird. I know you're very. You're very like. What do you call it? You're very future forward type of guy, man. You're all about gadgets and like the new hot technology, man. You're really, and I'm not like a Luddite. I'm not like this is the worst thing ever. I'm not gonna start the Butlerian jihad, which you guys don't know. If anybody watching it, you read the Dune novels, you know what I'm talking about. I think that AI is gonna make people lazier, but I don't think it's gonna get rid of our jobs per se. I think people still want to watch movies. Maybe not in the same form. Like 2-hour-long movies is probably never gonna. I think probably like everything's gonna be like a TV show soon.
Yeah.
Because how many people go to the theater anyway? Not many people.
Not so many people.
Like how many times have you gone to see a Broadway show?
I've never been to Broadway. I'm sorry.
But it's
I've been
still
trying to
around.
go. I would love to.
I go to Broadway shows, but like it's
Yeah,
still
I'd
around.
love
But
to-
it's
I'd love to
really
go.
expensive,
Yeah.
and only a couple of people. Not only a couple of people, but way less people go than watch movies or
Yeah.
than go to watch YouTube. So like films will be around,
Yeah.
but they won't be. But AI is going to take a lot of that, effort that we have, like lugging around a bunch of lights and lugging around a big camera. You'll still be able to make movies, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got you.
What do you
I got
think about AI?
Yeah, I think you summed it right.
Mhm.
It's gonna be part of our future tools for filmmaking. I'm still looking at it as a tool, right? And right now, just researching for AI tools in our industry, and I feel like it's gonna simplify a lot of what we do. There's actually one I was reading about it for script editing. So you submit your script,
Oh, that's smart.
and what it's done is it's analyzed all the films that are out there, right? And it can actually rate your film.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So it will read the whole script based off of all the ratings. I mean, like, it might be a downer too, because it's also
Yeah.
what awards are, But one thing that Lionsgate has a deal right now. I think they're using AI. I think it's RunML or one of the tools for VFX or something. There's a film that's supposed to be coming out with one of the brothers. But long story short is
Like brothers or brothers?
the brothers, the directors.
Okay.
I think I'll remember the name of which director
Okay.
duo it is. But what it's going to do is it will help with a lot of, let's say, post VFX and all these tools, right? It will cut down the timeline on half of this, but you still need a driver, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So it will still be that. But there's also the scripting part of things is good, but it will never understand an emotional arc because there's no. It will try to write that based off of what you fed it, because everything is about learning.
Yeah.
But can it, and I might be proven wrong, can it understand the emotional or the connection between you and I right now that we're
Impossible.
having?
Impossible.
And that is something that a director can be able to draw or figure that out, right? So maybe you can write half of this or compare most of them.
Well,
but
what's
you
really
still
good
need-
about it is it can read a script for you. That's a really good, because it's
It
hard to
will
read
ra-
some
It
scripts,
will
man.
rate your script.
Yeah, you just
It
like,
will rate it and be like,
what does this mean?
hey, this is a
Give me a
shitty
clip.
script, you know. But
We've
I've used it to actually break down scripts.
Yeah, it's
Like
great.
to kind of see, okay, characters,
Mm-hmm.
to kind of see plot lines,
Yeah.
to kind of see, especially from a cinematographer point of view, right? How many scenes do I have here, right? I can read it, but also give it and be like, how many scenes are here?
But you're right. It could never connect, like recreate emotional. Well, because if you think about what is it to be an emotional being, is like, what are you afraid of? And can AI be afraid? What do you love? Can AI love? What are you ever hungry? Is AI ever hungry? Like, how could a creature that doesn't have a body, that doesn't feel pain, that doesn't feel longing, ever
That's true.
really like understand? And AI overlords in the future, if you're watching this in the future, I'm not talking shit, man. I love you guys. You're amazing. Please don't destroy me. But like right now, I don't think it's possible for AI to ever recreate the emotion of a film. Like if you watch I don't know if people like Forrest Gump, but I really love Forrest Gump. If you watch Forrest Gump and you, in that moment when he sees his son for the first time, like how could an AI ever really convey that? The lighting, the music, what the actors bring to the table, what the director is bringing to the table, what the writer brought. You know what I mean?
But that's what I'm saying. Like the drivers will still exist. Right?
Sure.
Like they'll still need a driver.
Yeah, people shouldn't be afraid of it. They shouldn't.
And that's a good point. So again, future forward. I love the tech.
One thing,
But it's also overwhelming too, because every day there's something new.
yeah. Well, my dad, I was just hanging out with my old man, and I was like walked over to him, and I was like, "What are you doing, old man?" And he was like, "Oh, I'm just watching this movie on YouTube." And I was looking at it. It was like an hour long. It was one of those commercials that, when you're on YouTube and there's like an AI anime commercial, and it just kept. He didn't press skip. He was just watching it. I was like, what? He was in like the second hour, and I was like, what? And it was just the weirdest, like little anime, like. It was just, he was telling me the storyline, and it was just Harry Potter, and I was like,
Oh, but someone did it in AI and just uploaded it?
that's literally what they just took. They took Harry Potter and My Hero Academia, and they put it together, and they made like a weird AI like anime. And it wasn't like the animation was bad. There was no real movement. Although my dad was just watching it. I'm like, you like this? And he goes, yeah, it's really cool because the characters. And I was like, oh, you could really put anything online and make money from it.
That is true. Hey, there's an audience for everything.
There's an audience for everything, man.
Yeah. But
he was just into it too. I was like,
no, Ben, I appreciate you sitting down with me for this.
Yeah, right on, man.
And yes, let's keep collaborating. Let's keep working on this.
Yeah,
keep
cool.
growing.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Thanks for coming. Thanks for listening to the show. Today we had Ben, Dennis, awesome cinematographer, and a live broadcast director now. Is that real?
Technical director, yeah.
Technical director?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And catch you on the next one.